Hi everyone, it's Roger here from VinylmationKingdom.com with a quick video diary. Yesterday I was listening to the Dedicated to Disneyland Paris podcast, and during the podcast they were talking about the Vinylmations at Disneyland Paris, and Steve even just quickly name checked me to find out some information about what's going on. Apparently there is a lot less Vinylmation in stores. They've been cutting back on where they are being sold, and the displays are being cut back. Now, I'm going to be heading out to Disneyland Paris in 6 weeks, so I'm going to be hopefully just filming some footage and taking some pictures of what's going on there. I'm just to see myself, but just as a brief idea to tell everyone what really is probably going on. If you aren't aware so much, in the last sort of 6 months to a year, Disney have decided to start producing a lot less Vinylmation. They've cut loads of series down between the Disney store and the park team. They've kind of got together, and so instead of making loads and loads of sets like they used to, that all got used to be discounted, and they just had way too much stuff, they've really cut back, really trimmed back, so we were getting a lot less releases, and also, which means that there's less stuff on the shelves, but also they've made the packages smaller. The box sizes are nearly a third smaller. They've also actually made a lot of the sets smaller. So instead of 12, now you've only got 8. So not only have they made cases smaller, they've made the boxes smaller. So the generally just doesn't need as much space as it used to. Throw in that there's less new releases, and altogether it's going to show that they don't need as much space as they used to. There's just not as much stock to shift. Disneyland Paris has actually had quite a few releases this year. They've had the Indiana Jones, they've had the Cutesters, and they also had the Jungle Book. And the only other releases from this year they haven't had so far are the Pirates of the Caribbean Series 2, which I thought they might have done, but probably doesn't look like it. And they didn't get Aladdin Juniors or the Robots 4s, but they went to the Disney stores. Now that even crosses over to there. They haven't had as many new releases because there just simply hasn't been any. There's only been 2 or 3 Disney store releases this year, and we just don't get the same amount that we used to. So smaller packaging, smaller amount of trays, less sets, just means they don't need as much space on the shelves. So have Disney decided to pull a little bit back on Vinylmation? They look like they have, but from my point of view, I think it was for the best. They just couldn't keep up with the momentum. And also Disneyland Paris had a tendency just to hold on to a lot of old sets. You'd be going and you'd still be finding Toy Story, which is nearly, they were released 3-4 years ago now, and lots of other figures. So I think on a whole, that's why Disneyland Paris has got a lot less Vinylmation on the shelves, and they simply just aren't making any. They mentioned about Create Your Owns. That went through a little bit of a rebrand with the blank this year. It is a shame they don't have those there, because to have them signed by is something I was maybe thinking of doing myself. But anyway, I hope that sort of answers what's going on at Disneyland Paris. It's not that they're not selling them, it's just the fact they're just not being made the same. But anyway, share your comments below. What are your experiences at Disneyland Paris and also at the other parks? Because that's the one thing I also wanted to say, was that actually at Disneyland Paris there's still actually a lot more trading sites than there are in the US parks. They've been cut back to 1 trading place per park, whereas Disneyland Paris still has a few scattered around. So that's pretty good. But generally, the overall thing has been this year of what I would call the slowdown effect. Producing less stuff, making a lot less of them, smaller packaging, it all adds up to seeing a lot less on the shelves, and then that also ties over to Disney stores. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and also check out the Dedicated to Disneyland Paris podcast, and you'll find lots of information on Disneyland Paris there. And also in that recent podcast, they gave a really good trip review.